Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 5.19. First, I want to let you see the length of this question. It looks like a lengthy question, but actually it's not. Since we are studying management, it's management accounting, and secondly, management does not work clerically. Management take decision with the smaller statements. So our chapter is cost volume profit analysis, and we have solved around 18 questions to have well familiar with the format, performa and statements. You can see as the first part is showing, we have been given per unit selling price, per unit variable cost, this invoice cost and sale commission. Adding both, we will get total variable cost, but it is per unit. So 25 per unit variable cost, 40 is per unit selling price, and we have fixed expenses totaling 3 lakh rupees. So that's very simple thing. We have already seen such statements in our previous questions. Company this and that, and first requirement is calculate the annual break-even point in dollar sales and in units. Okay, so we are going to see our first requirement, which is what we need to calculate break-even point. Okay, so both break-even points are needed to be calculated. First in terms of units, and we know that fixed cost is needed, and that is meant to be divided by CM per unit. Beside that, CM matlab contribution margin per unit. How do we calculate? For that purpose, we need sales per unit or per unit sales, and then we will subtract per unit VC or variable cost, with which what will happen, we can calculate CM per unit. So first fixed cost is needed, and here you can see 3 lakh rupees fixed expenses are given clearly. So you will put 3 lakh here, and you need to divide it by CM per unit. So again we will follow the question, and here you can see our per unit sale price is given 40. Per unit sale price is given 40, and per unit variable cost 25. So collectively what we can do is your per unit sale price 40, and you will subtract per unit variable cost, which is 25. Again you will see 40 was the sale price, 25 are the variable expenses. Now you can calculate it. 40 minus 25, here we are getting double minus, actually it's not minus. So 15 is CM per unit we have calculated. Now put it over here, 15, with which our statement has been completed. Break even point in terms of unit, fixed cost divided by CM per unit. We are open to calculate now. So 3 lakh divided by 15, 2000 our first answer. And let's see our statement over here. First break even point we have calculated in terms of units, and here you have calculated it is 20,000, and our answer you can check, it is 20,000. So first part is completed. Now we will see 1A, where we will be calculating break even point, but in terms of dollar, or amount. So this is second thing. For what we need to have fixed cost, and it would be divided by CM ratio. And how do you calculate your ratio? We will be calculating over here. CM, contribution margin and ratio. For that we need contribution margin, and that would be divided by sales. So you can take answer in terms of times or answer in terms of percentage as it is. CM per unit we have calculated over here, that is 15, put directly over here, and then per unit sale price is also given 40. So you can put over here, statement completed. Now you can calculate 15 divided by 40. So we have got 0.375. Either you can put 0.375 directly and write down it as times, or you can write this answer in terms of percentage. How? This answer, if you will multiply it with 100, that would be your answer in percentage, that is 37.5%. So since we will use answer in terms of times, so you may or you may not calculate answer in percentage. Come over here. We need to calculate break-even point in terms of amount. For what we need fixed cost. Fixed cost was already mentioned in one part. 3 lakh is your fixed cost. Okay, then we need to divide. CM ratio was calculated over here, 0.375. Statement completed. Now put it on your calculator. 3 lakh divided by 0.375. So here we have got our second answer. Let's see. You can see over here 8 lakh is your second answer, and our answer is 8 lakh. It means first requirement has been completed, 20,000 and 8 lakh. Prepare CVP graph, cost, revenue, and for store 36. Store 36 is name. So please ignore this 36. It's just the name of store which should be mentioned over here. Look, the revenue data for store 36. It's store's name. So don't be confused with this 36. Okay. From 0 shirts up to 30,000 shirts sold each year clearly indicate break-even point on the graph. Remember, we have created our graphs in question number 2 and question number 3. Similarly, you will be making graphs for it, and I'm very hopeful that you do not need any help. If you want to repeat or you want to recall that procedure of making graph, you can just watch the same lecture for question number 2. You will come to know. Okay, but slightly I will give you just the reference for point number 2. For that, very first thing is your units, and units, after units you will take sales, after which you will see your cost, and as you know that cost is including two basic factors. If it is cost, then it must have fixed cost, then variable cost, and finally you will see the total cost. Okay, we can write variable cost over here, and let's make little more space for it. So total cost contains fixed cost, variable cost, and when you will add your FC plus VC, you will get total cost. And we are related with two factors, sales and total cost. You can make it prominent. That's how you can get your help. So sales and your total cost. Units is mentioned in the question. I'm giving you a hint for second part. So what it is saying, prepare CVP graph, revenue for this store, start shares up to 30,000 shares. So you can make units 30,000 end. So what you can do, first number of units can be 10,000, then 20,000, then 30,000 unit. And how do you calculate your sale price? Units multiplied by per unit. And you can see here we have already mentioned sale price is 40. Sale price 40. So first sale, how would you calculate? Number of units are 10,000 and you will multiply it with 40, which is your sale price. Please understand it. 1000 multiplied by 40. Units multiplied by per unit. In the similar way, for next sale, these are number of unit 20,000 and you will multiply by sale price, which is 40. And then again, number of unit are 30,000 and you will multiply it with 40. You will get your sale price. So we have completed two columns. Then you need your fixed expenses. You can see fixed cost has already been used, 3 lakh. So you have a very familiar idea. If you are making 10,000, 20,000, your fixed cost will remain same, and 3 lakh will be put over here, then 3 lakh over here. Why we are putting the same amount? Because it's a fixed cost which will never be altered, no matter you are making less number of units or you are making more number of units. Then variable cost is also mentioned in our question. You can see over here, total variable expenses are 25. So come over here, number of units you can see are 10,000 and variable cost we have just seen is 25. So first variable cost has arrived, and then second variable cost, number of unit are 20,000, variable cost is 25. Second variable cost has been arrived. Now third variable cost 30,000 number of units, and then you need to multiply with variable cost 25. Okay, we have got our fixed cost and variable cost. Finally, we are calculating total cost by adding fixed cost and variable cost. Our fixed cost is 3 lakh, and then you will add 2,50,000 your variable cost. First total cost, here it is. For second, 3 lakh plus variable cost 5 lakh. So we have got 8 lakh our second cost. Then we are going to add again 3 lakh for the third point. Add 7 lakh 50,000 variable cost. So here, as I have told you, we are related with this cost only. To make the graph, we are related with cost and we are related with sale price. So we have marked these two things which will be used in your graph. And then finally, what you will do, here you can have your y-axis which will be made over here, and here you will have your x-axis. You will put a line over here. On x-axis you will always be having number of units. So we have 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000. So for first 10,000, and then you will put 20,000, and then you will put 30,000, and that's enough. So only 3 points are considered. On y-axis you will have your sales and you will have your total cost as well. These two elements would be at y-axis. For that you will see what is maximum and minimum amounts. 4 lakh I can see is the minimum amount, and maximum amount is 10 lakh, maximum amount is 12 lakh. So you can use 4 lakh, table of 4 lakh, first 4 lakh here, then next element would be 8 lakh, and third would be 12 lakh. So in this way your minimum and maximum will be fixed. Now when you will put your answer over here, you will get your graph, and that graph would be like this. Here you can see that first point is at level of 10,000 unit your sale price is 4 lakh. So this would be your first point. And by increasing your number of units, your line would be in positive way will be proceed to the next level. You can see for 30,000 it is 1 lakh 20,000. So this line would be used like this, and that would be considered as your sale price. And again, second line you will be choosing. You can see that will now follow the cost. For 10,000 unit, your cost is 5,50,000. These are 10,000 units and 5,50,000 would be around here. We are going to insert second line, that is for the cost. And you can see that what we have said, for 10,000 number of units, you have your total cost 5,50,000. These are 10,000 number of unit and 5 lakh would be like this. And this cost will go exactly like this. And you will change, I'm just going to change its color so that you can feel what's the difference. Okay. It's now not following. Now it is changing. Okay. So we have changed it. This first line was for the sale price. You can write over here, it is your sales. And first line was for sales and second line would be used for cost. This is not absolutely original or real graph. You will make it on your paper. I am just showing the way or method. It was very easy for me to draw the graph. How? I can use these charts. Okay, lots of options are available. I will just select the data and graph would automatically be made. But instead of that, I have just tried to let you know how to make graphs. In this way, your shape would be like this, sale and cost, and this point is your break even point. It is exactly at 2000 level. You can see 8 lakh is over here and 8 lakh is over here. So our break even point is 2000 we have found out, and this would be the point of intersection. It is called equilibrium point. It is called break even point. The second part has been sorted out. Now let's go and see what is in our third part. If 19,000 shirts are sold in a year, what would be net operating income or loss? So we are selling 90,000 units. It's time to make our contribution margin income statement. For that, are we following fourth point? No, it's third point we are going to see. For income statement, as you know, that first we will see how much sales, and then you will subtract your variable cost with which we will have our contribution margin, and then we will subtract fixed cost. Finally we'll get net margin. This is our third part, but here we will write number of units, then per unit, and finally we will calculate the amount. Okay, and units are mentioned in point number 3, 19,000 shirts. So we will write 19,000 over here. And secondly, per unit sale price. It is mentioned over here. Selling price 40 per unit. So put over here per unit 40 as sale price. Now variable cost is mentioned over here 25. So we'll write 25 over here. It's time to calculate the amounts now, and you have complete idea how to calculate the amount. For that purpose, units would be multiplied with per unit. So here we will see how many number of units, 19,000, and how much per unit, that is 40. So amount can be calculated by multiplying it. These are units, 19,000, and multiply it with 40 per unit. So we have got our sale price. In the similar way, as I have told you, number of unit for sale price would always be similar to number of unit with variable cost. So now we are open to calculate our variable cost. Units are 19,000, and you will multiply it with 25 per unit variable cost. At this stage, it's now open to calculate our contribution margin by subtracting variable cost from the sales. How much sales we have? 7,60,000. Subtract variable cost, which is 4,75,000. So we have got our contribution margin. Now fixed cost. Fixed cost was already mentioned above, and here are total fixed expenses 3 lakh. So come to the question and write down fixed cost as 3 lakh. Okay. So net margin we are open to calculate, and how do we calculate? By subtracting fixed cost from contribution margin. So contribution margin was 2,85,000 and subtract fixed cost, which is 3 lakh. So here we have got negative answer. It means it's a loss of 15,000. Here you can see for our third amount, minus 15,000 is mentioned, and our loss is also minus 15,000. When it is minus, it means net margin is net loss actually. You can mention over here, but negative sign is enough to understand that it's not a profit, it's a loss. So we have solved third part, and now let's see what fourth part is saying. Company is considering paying the store manager an incentive of commission of 3 per shirt in addition of salesperson's commission. Let's go to the question and understand it. Sales commission was given 7 rupees per unit, but now what is he saying? 3 per shirt in addition of salesperson's commission. It means 7 rupees will be giving even right now, and 3 additional dollars would be paid as commission. Why we are going to increase commission? Because the greed of this commission will let your agent to sell more. With this, what will happen? Your sale should be increased. Let's see if he's mentioning it. If this change is made, what will be the new break-even point in dollar and in units? Obviously, by increasing your commission to agent will try to sell more so that he can get more commission. But we will practically see break-even point after this change. Let's take this question little down so that we will be scrolling less. So question had gone down. Okay, and we will see our fifth point. We are now at fourth point. Okay, so at this stage we need to calculate our new break-even point, but formula would be same. Break-even point, but in terms of units. First we will calculate how we need to put fixed expenses or cost at first, and then we will divide it CM per unit. Obviously, contribution margin per unit is changed now. So we will calculate contribution margin per unit by subtracting per unit variable cost from per unit sale price. So here you can see per unit sale price, and then you will subtract per unit variable cost. Why we are calculating again? We have already calculated it, but there is difference now. Sale commission was 7, additional $3 would be added over here. It means 40 was your selling price. So you can put 40 as selling price, and you were subtracting your variable cost, which was 25. But since now three additional dollars would be added to the commission, so it would become 10, and 28 would be your new variable cost. How? Old variable cost was 25 and he was asking to add 3 extra dollars for commission. Understand? Now we can calculate it. 40 minus, we know that is 28, but we will follow the calculator. Okay, 12 is your new CM per unit. Now let me know if sale commission has been increased from 7 to 10. 7 is increased by 3. What would be changed upon fixed asset? So some of you will answer that either variable cost is 10 or 5 or 7 or 10, 20, 30, 10,000. There will not be any effect on fixed expenses. Fixed cost will remain same. And here fixed cost is mentioned 3 lakh. So what you will do? First you will write 3 lakh and then you will divide it with CM per unit. Old CM per unit was 15 and now new CM per unit is 12. Put over here. Statement completed. Now we can calculate 3 lakh divided by 12. So we have our new break even units 25,000. Here you can see our third statement answer 25,000 and our answer is also 25,000. We are now going to calculate for B part where break even point is also needed, but in terms of dollars or in terms of amount. For that purpose, what you will do, you need fixed cost and you are going to divide it by CM ratio. So we will calculate our CM ratio, contribution margin ratio, when you will divide your contribution margin by sales. Okay, so contribution margin we will be calculating in our new way. Contribution margin, sale price, okay, we will be calculating over here. Sale per unit, when we will subtract variable cost per unit, what we will get, that would be CM per unit. Okay, come to the point now. Sale price per unit is not changed. That would remain same. It is 40. So you can put 40 over here. Yeah, now you need to have your variable cost. And you can see variable cost was calculated inside the bracket. That is 28 now. Statement completed. Now you can calculate it 40 minus 28. So 12 would be considered as your CM per unit. CM per unit and sale per unit. Now it's known. This is CM per unit. Okay, we have already calculated CM per unit. That was 12. And sales is how much? 40 is mentioned over here. Write down 40. Statement completed. It has been taken as date. So we'll have to do something. 12 divided by 40, but we will write 40 in terms of brackets. I hope, okay, it's not been taken. 12 divided by 40 would be put. 0.3 is your CM ratio, or you can write in terms of percentage. For that you will take this answer and will multiply by 100. So 30% you can write. We can write 30% or 0.3. As you know that our formulas need answer in terms of times, not in terms of percentage. So we'll use 0.3. Come over here. Fixed cost has already mentioned over here 3 lakh. put it like this, and you need to divide by CM ratio, and CM ratio is been calculated over here 0.3. So 0.3 would be put over here. Statement completed. Put it on your calculator. 3 lakh would be divided by 0.3. So we have got our answer break even in terms of units 10 lakh, 1 million. Okay, here is our answer. 1 million is mentioned over here, 6 zeros, and we have answer in 6 zeros. 4 part is completed. Let's see, our fifth part is saying refer to the original data. It means whatever we have done in 1, 2, 3, 4, we will ignore everything and will refresh ourselves, refer to the original data. It means what change we have done in the variable cost, it had become 28, and what he wants not to consider that change. Refer to the original data as an alternative of 4. Company is considering paying store manager 3 commission on each share sold in excess of break-even point. If this change is made, what will be the operating income or loss for 23,500 shares? Okay, so we need to calculate break-even point in terms of what? Refer to the original data. Company is considering paying the store manager 3 commission on each share. And right now what is happening? We are paying 7 rupees as commission. So instead of 7, we will be paying now 3 as commission only. Or we have calculated it in above figures as well somewhere. Okay, come down. So we need to calculate our break even point, and that is fifth. We need to calculate break even point again, but what terms he is asking? Now we are doing, if this change is made, what will be the net operating income? Not break even point, he wants to calculate it, 23,500 number of units. For that we will have to make complete statement. First we will write sales, and then you will subtract your variable cost. You will get your contribution margin, and then you will subtract your fixed cost. You will get net margin, and as usual we are going to write, this is fifth part, let it be settled to the left side. Okay, the first thing is you will write number of units over here, and then you will write per unit, after which you will write the amount. Number of units were mentioned in the question. These are 23,500. So you can put 23,500 over here. Sale price is not changed as refer to the original data. So what we will go, sale price would be same 40. You can write 40 over here. Units which are sold would remain same for variable cost as well. Fixed cost would remain same, that was 3 lakh. As you can see over here, your fixed expenses 3 lakh. And we have decided it that whether you are selling 23,000 units or you are selling 1,000 unit or you are selling 1 lakh unit, your fixed cost will remain. Alright guys, so variable cost which will be calculated, for that we will read question. Already we have read it for more than once. Look at here, $3 commission is mentioned over here on each share sold in excess of break even point. Do you remember? We have already calculated break even point, which was 20,000. So for this, first we will calculate that break even point again so that you can remind it. Break even point in terms of units were calculated. For that, we had put fixed cost first, and that cost was divided by CM per unit. You have calculated CM per unit as well, where your sale price was taken, but per unit we are just mentioning PU per unit, and then you have subtracted your variable cost, but again per unit was taken. Your sale price was 40 and your variable cost was 25. Okay, so variable cost was 25, and what was the amount? That was 15, your CM per unit. Fixed cost was 3 lakh and it was divided by 15. Now we can calculate it. 3 lakh, okay, divided by 15. So 20,000 was your break even point. For that you will go again. On number 5, he is saying $3 commission on each shirt sold in excess of break even point. So our break even point is 23,000 and shirts we are selling 23,500. So how many shirts are in excess? Look, sold units and difference of break even units. You will calculate sold units are 23,500 and break even units were 20,000. So in this way 30, okay, we will calculate it. 23,500 subtract 20,000. So you have 23,500. 3,500 shirts are extra. For every extra shirt, you will be paying extra commission of $3. So it means 35 shirts are sold. Extra commission per shirt is $3. How much total commission? For that, 3,500 were the shirts. For each shirt, $3 was the commission. So you have got 10,500 extra commission. Please keep it in your mind. This was your extra commission. 25 was the original cost, and here you will have to understand what is happening. Your variable cost was already equal to 25. We have already mentioned over here. Okay, so how do we calculate your variable cost? Our units were 23,500. So what you will do, 23,500 were the units and your variable cost old was 25. So here you will calculate your variable cost by multiplying 23,500 with 25. This is your old variable cost, and now there is an addition of 10,500, 587 plus 10,500. So here you have got your new variable cost. I will let you know it again. Look, he was saying $3 would be paid for those number of units which are more than break even point. We have calculated break even units 20,000. Right now we are selling 23,500. It means 3,500 extra shirts were sold. For each of this $3 was paid. This is your commission. Already paying your variable cost was 5,87,000. This is extra commission. So in this way, what you will do? You will write down both. First is what? This was your original variable cost and this was your extra commission variable. So this way your total variable cost would be 5,98,000. Kindly understand, we have not just multiplied 23,000 with 25. We have also added this extra commission of 25. We are writing it extra commission. So I will suggest you to repeat this lecture for last 5 minutes. You will come to know what is happening. I'm again repeating, these were your break-even units which we have already calculated. And he was saying if you will sell number of units more than break-even point, commission would be rewarded. We are now selling 23,500, which is more than 20,000. How much? How many number of units are more than 20,000? That is 3,500. For each share, you will be getting $3 as your commission. Collectively, 10,500 is a commission, which is extra variable cost. Original variable cost 587, you will add 10,500. In this way, you will get your variable cost 5,98,000. Now we are open to calculate our contribution margin by subtracting variable cost from the sale. This is your sales, subtract variable cost, which is 5,98,000. This way, you have calculated your contribution margin. And now we are going to calculate our net margin, which is difference between fixed cost and contribution margin. Our fixed cost was 3 lakh and contribution margin is 3,42,000. We will calculate the difference of 342 and 3 lakh. This way you have calculated your contribution margin, net margin as well. 42 is the answer. And point number 5, you can see 42,000 is mentioned over here. This way our fifth point has been completed. Alright guys, now we are going to solve our sixth point. Let's see what is 6 point saying to us. Here you can read it. Refer to the original data. Again, we are ignoring what we have done in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are not going to look at it. We will be calculating according to original data. The company is considering the eliminating sales commission. You can see over here we are paying sales commission as $7. So in question, organization wants us to eliminate it. No commission would be made. Instead of that, what will happen? Entirely and increasing fixed salaries by 107,000. So he wants to increase fixed expenses by 107,000 and eliminating commission. So it depends upon the organization. Some organizations wants to fix their charges. They prefer to make fixed expenses. They do not want to increase their routine wise expenses. Sale commission mean more sales, more commission. More commission mean more expenses. So expenses can be increased. So some organization do not want to increase their running expenditure. Instead, they would be willing to have it fixed. So right now, the next game is you will eliminate this commission and you will increase your fixed cost by 107,000. Now come over here. We again going to calculate break-even points in terms of units. First we will calculate, and that would be calculated by dividing fixed cost to CM per unit. Come over here. CM per unit would be different over here. Why? Because he had made some changes. Sales per unit would be taken and variable cost per unit would be subtracted. Sale per unit is same, as he is saying there is no change, 40, but variable cost would be changed. How? Since it has been said that there will not be any commission. When you will eliminate this commission, 7 would not be present. The only variable cost would be 18. So here your variable cost would be changed. This is something old has been written. So instead of 25, it would be only 18. I'm letting you know again. Your original variable cost was 25. He's saying there will not be any commission paid to the agents. Instead of that, they will be paid salaries. So commission will be eliminated. Only variable cost present over here would be 18. So we have taken 18. Now what would be our contribution margin? 40 minus 18, it would be 22. Come over here. Fixed expenses. Oh, yes, we'll have to calculate new fixed cost as well. New fixed cost will come by adding original fixed cost plus increment we can write just to make you understood. Otherwise, it can be solved orally. 3 lakh was old fixed cost, then you need to add increment, which is 107,000. It has been instructed in the question. You can see increase in fixed salaries by 107,000. Original expenses were 3 lakh and increase is 107,000. Now you can calculate your new fixed cost by adding 3 lakh plus fixed expenses 107,000. Okay, 407,000 is your new fixed cost. 407,000 is fixed cost put over here. 407,000, and it would be divided by CM per unit, which we have just calculated as 22. Write down here 22. Now calculated 407,000 divided by 22. So we have got our new break-even units as 18,500. Look at this answer, 18,500. Its B part, break-even point in terms of sales. We are going to calculate break-even point in terms of dollar or amount or sales. How do you calculate in terms of dollar? You need to have fixed cost and you will divide it with CM or contribution margin, but ratio you will use. Fixed cost has already been calculated in this sixth part. This is your sixth A, and sixth part we have already solved fixed cost 407,000, which was calculated over here, old and new, and then you need to divide it with CM ratio. How do you calculate CM ratio? Here we can see CM ratio would be calculated by dividing CM over sales. CM, here it is calculated 22 and it would be divided by sales. And how much is sale? 40 again for this question as well. Calculate CM ratio 22 divided by 40. So we need this CM ratio in terms of times, that is 0.55. Come back to our question. Fixed cost was already mentioned 407 and it was meant to be divided by CM ratio, which is 0.55. Put over here. Now calculated 407,000 divided by 0.55. So we have 7,40,000, and you can see over here 7,40,000 is our answer. So what does that mean? Our sixth part has been completed and total were 6 parts. All answers were matched with it and all parts have been solved. I'm requesting you to please pay your full attention over here. There were some twists. I'm just repeating it. In sixth part and in fifth part, there were things to understand. This $3 commission was an extra commission, and what we have done, we have calculated our break-even point in fifth point. Just to let you know what was the twist, we have calculated our break-even number of units, 20,000. So 3,500 units were extra units, and you have calculated commission upon them. And it was said for every extra unit, $3 was being paid, so 10,500 extra commission. In the similar way, in sixth point, you have calculated first time new fixed cost. He is saying to add extra $107,000 for fixed cost. So these are twists. Please note it down. I'm highlighting these amounts. How did you calculate your extra commission 10,500 in fifth point? And how did you calculate 407,000 as your new fixed cost? Please mark it, repeat it as many times as you can. So in this way, we are concluding our question number 5.19. Hopefully, you people have understood. If you have any query, any difficulty, any problem, you are very open to ask any question. I'm surely be available instantly to answer your queries. Up till now, our question time has been ended, and if hopefully we will be meeting soon again for solution of any other question. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I am requesting you to pray for me as well. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.